So the next thing you might notice is that when I scanned in my work, it wasn't straight on the bed. It was a bit crooked, right? So if I want to straighten this up, I can use the artboard as a reference point. So if I just hover around the corner, if I'm just outside that box, notice how I get this two-headed arrow? That allows me, if I click and drag, it allows me to rotate. And if I place my work really close to the line, I can see if it's horizontal or not. So I just want to adjust it until it's as close to horizontal as I can possibly get it. Okay, I think that's probably about as close as I'm going to get. Okay, so now that's been adjusted and it's around about the correct way up. At this point, I can start to trace off some of these shapes. So one of the things that I can do is I could get the whole outside shape, which is a rectangle, and if I click at one end and drag it out to the other end, I can trace off a more accurate version of that rectangle shape. Okay, now if I just delete that for a second, another option is, if I already know how big this is going to be, one thing that I can do is instead of dragging out that measurement, if I just tap, I can type in the exact measurements of that rectangle that I want to put in. So in my case, I know that it can be no larger than 680 wide, and the height maybe should be about 340. Okay, and if I press OK on that, it will draw a rectangle exactly the right size for what I want to do. Now I want to get rid of the white fill, so I'm going to make that transparent by pressing no fill, making sure I've selected the fill and then none. And you can see that all that I'm left with now is just the outline. Okay, I can move it around, and all I've got is the outline. Now I can do the same thing for these other shapes. I can begin to trace out these other shapes and snapping them to wherever I want them to be. Okay, I can draw the shape roughly. I can rotate the shape more accurately, and then I can adjust its size to better suit the shape that I've got. Now if I delete that background for just a second, you can start to see my template beginning to take shape. Okay, we can also see if it fits in the space that we need.